Hello. So Monday's lesson is going to be a little bit of a review. I'm trying to move this. Oh, we don't want that. Come on. All right, it doesn't matter. Your learning target for today is I can add up to 4 two-digit numbers using strategies based on place value and properties of operation. So there it is. All right, so let's begin. I have 2 problems up on the screen already. So it's 29 plus 34 plus 21 plus 36. Now looking at that, it doesn't look like that would be too simple to solve. However, we know that we can use our strategy to get to the next base number. And that would help us solve. The next benchmark number to help us solve it. So if you look, you have to look in your ones place to see what 2 numbers will add up to get you to 10, which is going to be your next benchmark number. So I see a 9 and I see 1. I know that 9 plus 1 will give me 10. So I'm going to make my little arrows and I'm going to add 29 and 21. Think of your place values when you do this to make it adding more simple. You're going to look at your 9. Let's see. And your 1 because they're both in the ones place. We know that 9 plus 1 is going to give you 10. So I'm going to write my 0 in my ones place. Remember, you have to carry that 1. So you can even put it up above so you don't forget it. So then you go to your tens place. And in your tens place is a 2 and a 2. You know that 2 plus 2 is going to give you 4. 4 plus, remember, don't forget this 1 up here. 4 plus 1 more is going to give you 5. So you know that 29 plus 21 is 50. Now you have to go to your next 2 numbers and add those together. We're breaking up the equation to make it simpler to add 4-digit numbers. Or 4 numbers with 2 digits. Okay, so we're going to do 34 and 36. Well, if you look in your ones place again, we have 6 and a 4. Okay, we know that 6 plus 4 is going to give you 10. So remember, let me switch this. We have a 0 in our ones place, and we're going to carry that 1. So I'm going to write that 1 right above this 3. Then we're going to go back, and we're going to add 3 plus 3, which is in your tens place. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus this 1 hanging up here. 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 1 more is going to give you 7. So now we have to do 50 plus 70, which makes it a lot simple because we know 0 plus 0 is going to give us 0. So then all you have to do is add 7 plus 5. I'm just giving you think time to do 7 plus 5 in your head. And 7 plus 5 is going to give you 12. Remember to write that whole number. Make sure. I know we use this strategy. So if I were to write it vertically, I have that 0. And that says 12. Make sure you're writing it so you see the 12. Cannot forget, even though there's nothing in that hundreds place, which right here, we still have to make sure that we're writing the 1 out. Okay, so I have a couple more for us to try. Now, what happens sometimes is there's not 2 numbers that you can add together to get to that next benchmark number. So when that happens, just have to try our best and add, and I will show you right now. Let me write it. So I have 32 plus 13 plus 29 plus 35. Okay, so again, you look to make sure that you can't get to that next benchmark number, which would be like the numbers you see when you're counting by tens. So ask yourself, does 2 plus 3 going to give you a next benchmark number? And remember, you're looking in your tens place or your ones place. So you should be looking at all of these numbers to see if any of those, when you add them together, are going to give you your next benchmark number. And in this case, it doesn't. 9 plus 3 more is not going to give you the next benchmark number. 5 plus 3. So in this case, it's not going to give you the next benchmark number. So what you should do is just try to think of something of the two numbers that are the simplest to add together, right? You don't want to make it harder for yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine 32 and 29. And I'm going to do that first. So 9 plus 2. I'm giving you think time. We're looking at our ones place, which is the place value that I highlighted in yellow underneath. So 9 plus 2 is going to give you 11. So carry your 1 down. And remember 11, so you have an extra 1 that you're carrying over. So I'm going to put it right by my 3 so I don't forget to add it. Now, you're adding 3 plus the 2. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 more is going to give you 6. Remember, you cannot forget about this guy that we carried over. So it's going to be 61 plus, now we're going to do 13 and 35. We're going to go to your ones place, which is highlighted in yellow. 5 plus 3 is going to give you 8. And then you're going to go to your tens place, and I'll highlight that in green. Now remember, you didn't have to carry over that time, so I didn't write anything above it. It was just 8. Then you're going to do 3 plus 1, which is going to give you 4. So now you have to do 61 plus 48. So if you're trying to challenge yourself and you don't want to write that out vertically, we can do our ones place, which is highlighted in yellow. And then we'll do our tens place, which is highlighted in green. So 8 plus 1 is going to give you 9. And 6 plus 4 is going to give you 10. Ooh. So your answer is going to be 109. Now, if for whatever reason you had to, don't make it harder for yourself and write it out vertically and add like that if it helps you, okay? But do you see how splitting up this equation, drawing your lines here, it makes it a lot easier to add when you're adding the 4 numbers together? Okay, so I'm going to erase that. Ooh. And I think highlighting your tens and your ones place really makes it clear to see which one you're adding. So just don't forget that. All these strategies are there to help you when you're solving. So I have one more problem. I have 92 plus 37 plus 71 plus 14. Now, before you start doing anything, ask yourself, is there 2 numbers that I can add together to get to that next benchmark number, which is a number that ends in 0. Now, what I like to do is I like to look at all my ones place. So I have a 2, I have a 7, I have a 1, and a 4. So I try to solve, or I try to add them together to see if I get to the next benchmark number. So 7 plus 2, and I add them in my head. You should be doing the same. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add the 2 numbers. I'm going to add 2 numbers together that are just simple for me to add together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 92 because that's a bigger number. So I'm going to do 92 and 14 first. So I'm going to do 92 and 14. Now I already have my ones place underlined for me. So 4 plus 2, which is in my ones place, I'm going to add those 2 numbers together. That's going to give me 6. Now I go to my tens place, which is going to be highlighted in green. Now I'm going to do 9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 is going to give me 10. So 106 plus, we're not done yet. We still have 2 more numbers. I have 37 and 71. So my ones place is already underlined in the yellow highlighter. So I have 1 plus 7, which will give me 8. And then I have 3 plus 7 in my tens place, which is going to give me, giving you that think time, which is going to give you 10. And if you have to, you can always pause the video. And if you want to solve it by yourself to challenge yourself, feel free. So now we have to add 106 plus 108. That's what we're going to do next. So if you have to, and it helps you, I think this is a great strategy just to see it visually right now, especially while we're reviewing this. We've been underlining our ones place in yellow, our tens place in green, and we'll do our hundreds place since we have one now in pink. So you're going to do 8 plus 6, which is going to give you 14. Remember to carry that 1. So you're in your ones place. You need to go to the next place value, which is going to be your tens place, and carry your 1 over. So it's going to be 0 plus 0, which is going to give you 0 plus 1 is going to give you 1. And then you're going to go to your hundreds place, which is highlighted in pink, and you're going to do 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is going to give you 2. So your answer is 214. If for some reason you feel more comfortable adding it vertically this way, feel free to, okay? So then we do 8 plus 6, which is going to give us 14. 0 plus 0 is 0. You have to carry that 1 down. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have the right answer. Okay, so I will leave you with one problem to do. And if you want, you can send me a picture or send your teacher a picture of the work you did. So I'm going to make it up right now. Let's do 13 plus 22 plus 38 plus 47. Okay, so if you have to, yellow for your ones place, green for your tens place. Solve that. Send pictures. Let me see what you do. I want to see that great thinking. I will see you tomorrow. Okay? Have a great day. Stay positive, second grade. We love you all. We miss you. Bye.